Denversaurus schlesmani. Denversaurus was a notosaurid that lived at the end of the Cretaceous period in what is now North America. It actually inhabited the Hell Creek Formation, which means that it lived alongside dinosaurs like Edmontosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Nanotyrannus, and the much more popular ankylosaur, Ankylosaurus. Recently, I've become incredibly fascinated about this dinosaur, so much so that it's become one of my all-time favorite dinosaurs, which is something that allowed me to realize that there's not a lot of Denversaurus out there. You look for Denversaurus merchandise anywhere and you won't find anything. Believe me, I've looked up and down, left and right for any type of Denversaurus figure, and I have found nothing. There's also not a lot of Denversaurus art out there, and so because of that, I came up with the idea to host a Denversaurus art contest in my Discord server, which, by the way, if you're interested in joining future events on this channel, be sure to join the Discord server. The link is down below and we would love to have you. But I gave members of my Discord server 2 weeks to create some Denversaurus art, and man, they delivered. Now, this is the first official contest that I've hosted on in Discord. Usually they're just like standard art videos where we scroll through and we look at specific art pieces. But this one actually has winners, 10 of them to be exact. And I kind of regret doing that because it was difficult to choose 10. I mean, seriously, I say it every time, but you guys are insanely talented. I was just in awe scrolling through that channel and just looking at all of that art. You guys never fail to deliver, and that is just amazing. But unfortunately, I could only choose 10 winners, and these are those 10. First up is this piece, done by Skookum22. A Denversaurus uses its weight and shoulder spines to crush the head of an attacking Nanotyrannus. The Denversaurus is inspired by box turtles, and Nanotyrannus is inspired by the Mystery Dinosaur documentary by Discovery. You can also follow Skookum22 on TikTok. I really liked this piece. Now, there was quite a few, like, Denversaurus versus Nanotyrannus pieces. Rightfully so. It's a very fun concept. Even I did the very same concept months ago. It's just an interesting idea to pair up Nanotyrannus with Denversaurus. And this was among one of the first pieces to do that in the contest, and I really love it. You have 3 Nanotyrannuses just like surrounding the Denversaurus, and the Denversaurus, as mentioned, utilizes its own weight to crush one of them, while this one to the right is just surprised and like, oh my gosh, and this one back here is like, what the heck is going on? I love it so much. Like, it is such a great piece, and I think like it was an easy winner for me. I also really like the Quetzalcoatlus in the background, or maybe Inferno Draken, but I'm sure it's Quetzalcoatlus. So that is just a fantastic start to the overall list that we have. This next piece was just insane. Absolutely insane. Done by Funky Bunky. Totally not inspired by a certain Rex scene. So it's a Denversaurus just kind of swimming through the water, kind of similar to the, I assume, the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic World Rebirth. And look how realistic this looks. This is just incredible. I love the detailing on the Denversaurus itself. I love the coloration that you gave it, and the shading is a true standout as well. I also like how you can see a fish down here just trying to escape this large behemoth of an animal as it crashes through the water. And the scenery is a huge highlight for me too. Like, just look how gorgeous that looks overall. The vegetation to the sides, and of course those sort of like cliffs in the background. Oh, and the lily pads, those are amazing too. 10 out of 10 art. This was beautiful. This was a just amazing job. Like, definitely hats off to you. Then we have this piece right here by Jeff Sketches. Denversaurus enjoying the sunset. You can find Jeff Sketches on Instagram and TikTok. And yet we have another beautiful piece. I don't understand how you guys pull off such amazing like lighting. Like, lighting is always difficult for me, but you guys just do it in such a way that it just looks magical, really. The details, yet again, are fantastic. The osteoderms look really good. The shape of its head is spot on. The whole body in general is just spot on. And I just love, like, the slight hint of, like, yellow or orange from of course, the light that's hitting the animal, while the underside of it is, shrouded in darkness. It's just truly a beautiful piece, and really nice coloration too. So far, pretty much all of the colors that we've seen for Denversaurus are colors that I feel like Denversaurus definitely pulls off. Next up is by Tree Cat. Denversaurus enjoys some time at the coast. You can find Street Cat on Twitter and Instagram. And yet again, this coloration is really nice. I love the reddish brown coloration that it has on the top part of its body and the almost pale coloration that it has on the bottom. And I especially love the blue on its throat. I really like blue, you know, in dinosaur designs. Blue is a relatively rare color in nature, so it's always something that stands out to me when we see it in art, and it always looks beautiful. I think blue is a very cool color. Same as before, the osteoderms look amazing, the lighting and the shading all looks great as well, and this environment is fantastic, and I just love the idea of a Denversaurus just kind of like hanging out in the coast and enjoying a day at the beach, so to speak. So beautiful work, amazing. Then we have our second Denversaurus versus Nanotyrannus piece. Even caught off guard, Denversaurus is a force to be reckoned with. We have a pair of Nanotyrannus circling a defensive Denversaurus in a grove of horsetails. This was done by Marcus Harding, aka Marcus Comics, on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Which, by the way, I don't know if I stressed it before, but I'm sure it went without saying. Definitely go and follow these guys on their social media, because as you can see, you're going to get some high quality work. I really love this piece. There's so much going on in this one alone. Like, it's just filled with so much energy. So first you have the Nanotyrannus that's in the foreground, only represented through those really long claws and, of course, its foot. And I like how it's mostly silhouetted by the light that's, of course, coming from the background, I suppose. The Denversaurus is, of course, in the middle, and it has beautiful colors. I especially love the striping that you gave it, and I just love how full of life it feels. Well, hopefully it'll remain, you know, filled with life in the near future. But the fact, you know, the way that its tail looks, just kind of like, swiping through the horsetails as it's defending itself, and the Nanotyrannus all the way in the background, revealing what this animal looks like as it's circling its potential prey. All of it is just gorgeous. I love the feathers on the Nanotyrannus. I think you really nailed its shape too. And just, this is a great way to show off Denversaurus. You know, it's just like showing it in a possible unfortunate situation that it may or may not escape from. I'm holding on to hope that it will survive this unfortunate encounter, but just beautiful work. This is such a great piece overall. I thought this one was really fun too. This was done by Orca Man. Trail cam footage of a Denversaurus and her baby being hunted. You can find Orca Man on Instagram, and wow, look at this. Just look at this. I'm a sucker for trail cam photos, like style photos, especially for extinct creatures, because that's something that helps ground it in realism, and it feels like you're looking at an actual, trail cam picture. So yeah, the Denversaurus looks really good. It looks exactly how you would expect it to look. The baby is also really good. I think this is one of the first times we've seen a baby Denversaurus portrayed. And of course, all of those eyes in the background are just insanely creepy. And I like how it's not explained what those eyes belong to, kind of like leaving it up to the viewer's interpretation. Like, that could be a bunch of Nanotyrannus, it could be some of the Dromaeosaurs, or maybe it's even like just a bunch of young Tyrannosaurs that happen to be in the same spot. Who knows? I also really like how the eye of the mother Denversaurus is really shining in the light. Such good work. I love it. Then we have a piece that is, of course, done by Red. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Red's work. Denversaurus Can't Reach Dinner. Red Like Winter Arts on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And wow, look at this one. You want to talk about lighting. It's so golden and just beautiful to look at. And plus the fact that there's a story going on as well, and also a different kind of story where it's like this Denversaurus it's found a plant that it prefers and it was trying to get to it, but then it's finding itself stuck in a tree. I like that. I like following things like that. It's the sort of thing that I would like to see in a future Prehistoric Planet season, if that were to ever get made. And I noticed that there's like a little bit of blue on the throat of this Denversaurus and some red on top. all around really nice touches. And again, I just really like the story that we're seeing with this one. This one right here was done by IC Sketches, Denversaurus chilling with his buddy. You can find IC Sketches on Instagram. Again, another little story one. Basically, you have a Denversaurus walking around and he has a buddy. He has a little pterosaur that's kind of like hitched a ride and just maybe hanging around on his back. Does the Denversaurus just like to have him around just because? Does the Denversaurus not care? Once again, it's up to viewer interpretation. I always really like that. You really nailed the way that the osteoderms look too. I like how solid they look. They look incredibly 3D, and each individual scale I noticed was placed onto the Denversaurus's body, which I know is no small task all around. And it looks like this was all hand drawn, which, you know, makes it incredibly impressive as well, because of how packed full of detail it is. It is a really insanely good piece, and just no surprise, I love it. This one was done by Wither. Here is a male Denversaurus in a butterfly encounter. Just a very fun and nice encounter overall. You can find Wither on Instagram. And look at that. Again, I really like the colors. They really catch your eye. Like, they're really bright. It looks like, it almost feels like this Denversaurus is in the middle of a sunset or a sunrise. And I also like the little hints of small amounts of feathers that just show up every so often, like just on the chin and where the throat is. I think that was a really nice touch. I also really like the detail on the Denversaurus's face. And the butterfly also just looks really nice. And it just makes for a really fun encounter that you always love to see. And last, but certainly not least, we have this piece done by the Anonymate. I think I pronounced that stupidly, but I'm sorry. I already had a different scene in my head for the 3D models when I heard the news. Like a lot of people here, Sam Neill was an important person in my life. And losing him was more personal than losing any other celebrity. So I decided to contribute my entry to him. Anyway, this is a real photo of him with his horse, and I composited 3D models that I made in Blender and Nomad Sculpt. No AI, no assets. You don't post on social media, so the Anonymate is fine. So this was a really nice piece. Obviously, Sam Neill's passing was, of course, just really, like, it hit hard for a lot of people, myself included, and of course for a lot of people in my community. And it really shows with really nice tributes like this. And I thought it looked really good. I really like the blue on the Denversaurus, and I love the details in the Denversaurus as well with all of those individual scales. I also really like the one in the background with a nice sort of reddish orange coloration. All around, just really beautiful and touching work. So that's that. Those are the 10 winners of the Denversaurus contest. Like I said, this was insanely difficult. So many people did some just jaw-dropping work. It was just so cool to see everybody, like the call to action, like everybody just showing up with their Denversaurus piece, especially considering that it is a lesser known dinosaur. It's a dinosaur that not too many people know about. Even in its own environment, it's kind of outshined by like Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and even Edmontosaurus to some extent. So much so that I think not a lot of people are aware that Denversaurus even existed in that environment. It also doesn't help that there's been some classification issues with Denversaurus. It's often been considered a junior synonym of Edmontonia, but more recent research suggests that it is its own distinct genus, completely separate from Edmontonia. And like I said, I think it's a dinosaur that deserves more recognition. So hopefully we can see more of this beautiful creature in the future. As you can probably tell, I've been making it my mission to have more and more Denversaurus focused videos. We already did one in Saurian, now we have this, and there'll probably be more in the future. Just you wait and see. But thank you so much to everybody who submitted their work. You guys are all just insanely awesome. And it's just always such a pleasure to see the sheer amount of creativity that you guys put into your work. And that goes for all of you. Even if your piece wasn't chosen for this video, you still did phenomenal. And I am very appreciative of all of you for submitting your work, especially in times like this one where, of course, generative AI is continued to be used more and more in the creative space. Something that I don't and won't agree with. Like, I don't agree with the use of generative AI in any form of art or in any way, shape, or form in the creative space. So we just got to keep doing things like this. Just keep creating our work and keep putting it out there for people to see, because that's what people need to see. You know, they don't need to be seeing AI slop. They don't need to be seeing, you know, stuff that's supposed to be innovative or the future of paleo documentaries. Tim, they need to be seeing actual human-made art. And that's exactly what you guys do. And you guys you do amazing every time. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. And once again, thank you all so much for contributing to and participating in the contest. But until next time, have an awesome day.